suppose, does it hurt any less the morning after?
No, it's certainly disappointing. Felt like we were in a great opportunity to put ourselves into a grand final. A lot of credit to Sydney. They've been the best team and the side to beat for the most part of this year. They played some great football last night. They were clinical in front of goals, and we probably weren't. So yeah, it's certainly disappointing, but I'm really proud of how our group kept showing up.
What did you guys get up to after the game last night? Did you stay together as a group or go off on your own?
Yeah, we went back to the hotel. I actually had to do a drug test, so I was at the ground for a couple of hours, which was a little bit annoying, but most of the boys headed back and to the hotel and spent some time together.
I've been close a couple of times recently. It's early after the loss, but can you diagnose perhaps what the catalyst for it was?
Yeah, I think what we have been challenging ourselves a bit on recently has been our contest and effort, and I think that was certainly there. You look at the numbers in stoppages and contested football, and we were right there with them for the most part of the game. Probably going forward, we weren't quite as efficient as them going inside our forward line, and they rebounded really well and scored really well off turnover, which they have all year. They're a great side, and they've got some real weapons in their team. And like I said before, they were extremely efficient, which makes it hard to stop sometimes.
There's some stuff you want to keep in-house, I'm sure, but as captain, what's your message after the game? You know, how do you address that with the group? It's obviously something really hard to go through. What do you kind of say to the boys to address that?
Yeah, it's certainly a balance of disappointment, but also for me personally, it's how proud I was of the group. We had some really challenging moments throughout this year where we got challenged from the outside and internally as well, and I was able to ask ball from certain people and get that from them, and even the Hawthorn game, you know, a lot of people counted us out, and we were able to show up and with a great attitude and effort, and as I said before, we didn't quite get there last night, but our effort and intensity was right there, and we're still a young side that's getting better every year, so we'll look to get back and put ourselves in the same opportunity again next year.
From an individual point of view, how did you see your own final series?
Yeah, I thought it went okay. The Geelong game probably didn't go as I would have liked personally, and as a team, we didn't have a great game. That was pretty clear, but I feel like my last two games, I really brought a really good intensity, and I guess probably just tried to show a bit more leadership out in the field with my personal performance. And yeah, finals games are tough. You're probably not going to have the same sort of statistics that you do during the year with the touches and that sort of stuff that you get. But yeah, for me personally, it was just bringing that effort and intensity and trying to lead the way.
Is it hard to come to terms with the fact that it is all over now? I mean, you're preparing, basically thinking maybe about going to training on Monday, a grand final, that's all done. It comes to an end so quickly. Is that sort of hard to get your head around?
Yeah, it's the harsh reality of AFL football. Unfortunately, there's 14 other teams that would have killed to have been where we were last night and had that opportunity. We fought really hard all year to get to that spot. Like you said, it ends just like that, and now we're in off-season. We were one game away from a grand final and giving ourselves a great opportunity to do something really special, and it probably just puts that fire in your belly again for next year to come back and come back in great condition and have another crack at it.
It's saying that there's obviously the draft, trade period, those things coming up. Not necessarily your responsibility, but where does the club get better? What do you need to bring in to get over this year?
I'm not sure specifically what sort of positions we'll be going for exactly, but I've got no doubt we've got a great team at Port Adelaide, and we've recruited extremely well over the last few years, not only in the draft but trade period as well. So no doubt we'll probably be active and always looking to get better, and I guess have spots that are up for grabs all the time. That's the only way to get better, is to have people challenging for spots all the time.
As captain, they're older than you, they're veterans, Dixon and Boakey. There's a lot of talk about their future. What kind of message and what do you say to those guys who may or may not go on next year in the next couple of weeks?
yeah, it's probably not my decision to make personally, but I've just got so much respect and love for those two boys especially. They've done an enormous amount for our football club. Both you especially been here since his day one, and yeah, whatever ends up happening with their future, whether or not they play on or not, they'll no doubt go down as some of our great players from the football club, not only as players but as people. They've been enormous for myself personally, but as the club as a whole.
Been pretty crazy the last few weeks, you know, from the loss through to Walker win and having to after as a leader of the club. It's a bit exhausting right now after last night too. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's that's finals football really. You're going to have ups and downs, and as I said before, I think the proud thing for me was how we responded, especially after the Geelong game. It could have been easy for us to, I guess, turn up and not bring the right intensity and effort, and yeah, fortunately we came in and we had a really good performance. There are ups and downs throughout the course of a whole season, and yeah, it is emotionally exhausting sometimes, but that's part of the job.
No doubt you guys are hurting at the moment, but making a pre-league final, there's 14 teams that wish they could get to that point. Would you call it a successful season on Port Adelaide's behalf?
Oh, success is a hard word to define in AFL terms. I think some people sort of only see a premiership as success, but for me personally, I think our team getting better every year. We're so young, and I'm proud that we were able to get to another pre-league final. But no doubt we're only going to get better with the age of our group at the moment, and the attitude as well that we've brought throughout pre-season and the last couple of years. So yeah, I would say it's probably more just proud that we've gotten to this point, but also so driven to get back here and give ourselves another shot at it.
Is it frustrating? I mean, it's been the past final series where you've got to the same sort of position, but I'm sure is it frustrating that that happened again? And how do you think you get better next year?
Yeah, there's a little bit of frustration to it, but I mean, you look at the side from a few years ago, I think we've got more than half of our side is completely different, so I don't think it's I think that's a Port Adelaide thing to get into prelims. You know, a lot of sides get to prelims and don't quite get there. The fact that we're getting there, I think, is the good thing, giving ourselves the opportunity to get into a grand final. There's, as we said before, there's a lot of sides that would kill to have that opportunity, and as long as we just keep turning up with the right attitude and effort, I'm sure we'll get there one day.
Now that it's season's finished, how quickly do you get in touch with Jack Precocious and potentially try and twist his arm?
I'm not sure. I'll leave that to the club probably. I'll probably catch up for a coffee with him to have a chat as a mate, but yeah, whatever decision he makes, I'll still be good mates with him, that's for sure.
What was Ken's messaging last night when he spoke to you guys after the game?
Yeah, it's a bit of what I said before, a balance between the disappointment of not quite getting there and being beaten by a better side on the night, and then also the summary of the season and the reality that, you know, we didn't quite get where we wanted to be, but really proud of what we were as a football club and how we responded to some really hard challenges throughout the year.
Last couple of guys, what's your plans now? You've got obviously a young child. You've got a trip booked in, or you're going to go away? Or?
I'm actually getting married in about a month, so I'm sure that'll probably take up a fair bit of my time next few weeks, and then we'll head away for a little honeymoon for a small trip after that. But pretty keen to get back home and see the little one.
There's been plenty of talk about Ken, how always is. He's locked in for next year. I mean, how much respect and admiration do you have for him and what he's been able to do?
Yeah, enormous respect and admiration for Ken. He's done so much for our football club, and yeah, it's hard to put into words, I guess, without seeing from the inside what he does on a day-to-day. He does so much work. He's the first into the club every morning and the last person to leave. He wants more than anyone to bring success to our club, and that's why we love him so much. You see that he's emotionally driven to bring us success, and that probably came out the last couple of weeks, but I've got no doubt that our group's behind him, and he's doing something right to get us into. I've played in 3 prelims now, and yeah, certainly we'll hopefully put ourselves in this position again to just do it for him, I guess, a little bit, and also some of our older guys have been around for a while.